Nobody will deny that Doom Eternal is an awesome game, but unfortunately, post-launch, it's been marred by a number of controversies involving Denuvo or the soundtrack and Mick Gordon, and now we find ourselves going back to Denuvo for another controversial aspect of the game. First things first, if we check out Steam, you may notice that the recent reviews for the title have been mixed. In fact, if we scroll all the way down to the review section and take a look at the graph here, you'll find that recently, over the past few days, the number of negative reviews have just skyrocketed. The game is being very much review bombed, and the reason for this is because in a recent update to the game, Bethesda and id have added Denuvo. So the following information was conveyed by a number of people, but this is the most prominent sort of forum post that highlights the issue here. It reads, the headline, "Why you should remove Doom Eternal, Denuvo anti-cheat from your PC immediately." The game did initially ship with Denuvo anti-tamper, which is more to do with preventing people from cracking the game to mitigate piracy. Anti-cheat has more to do with preventing people from cheating, particularly in an online environment. And Doom does have its online modes, and so to that effect, I've included Denuvo anti-cheat, which is universally hated because of performance issues, but beyond that, there are also security concerns, and those concerns can be read right here. Clicking on the link will take you to this Bethesda forums post that highlights in great detail just what exactly the concerns are, what the risks associated with Denuvo anti-cheat are. Here's a long and short of it section that kind of truncates all of that information as follows. Number 1, Denuvo anti-cheat installs itself at the kernel level ring 0 of the operating system, giving it complete access to your system. This level of access is unacceptable for something as inconsequential as anti-cheat software. 2, it presents a severe, clear, and present security risk to any system with it installed due to being given such low-level access to your computer. Should the software become compromised, the party at hand will have full access and control to your machines without your knowledge. 3, it presents a threat of causing stability issues due to running at kernel level. This means increased risks of stop errors, blue screens, among other issues such as performance degradation and refusal of the gaming launching. 4, players only have it on the company's, Irdeto's, word that DAC is not nefariously collecting information such as keystrokes, passwords, and sensitive data, and this was relayed in a statement in a blog post that I'll get to in a bit. While explicitly malicious intent such as this is unlikely, there is no way to be certain. There are also no guarantees that down the line their collection policies will not change, thereby making all their alleged audits null and void. As such, you're completely at their whims. 5, it was added after the fact by Bethesda and id, and as such, players were not warned before purchasing the game of such an invasive driver being present, which amounts to a bait and switch on their part. Indeed, the lack of any sort of heads up about this prior to people purchasing the game is something that many are taking great umbrage with, because a lot of people wouldn't have purchased this game if they knew that a system like this would be implemented. They would not have bought the game had they known about Denuvo anti-cheat. This very much feels like the nefarious aspect of live service, where things that people don't want are added after the fact, after a game's launch, after the reviews and feedback are in, after the company has made the money. Anyway, moving on, Denuvo anti-cheat must be installed and running to play Doom Eternal, even if the player has no intention of ever playing multiplayer, adding insult to injury. So even if you just want to partake in the single-player campaign and don't want to engage with any of the online features or modes, you are forced to use Denuvo anti-cheat, regardless of whether you want that software installed or not. Number 7, it breaks Linux compatibility completely. So anyone who prioritized that operating system, who prefer that operating system, the product that they bought to play on Linux, is kind of botched now, and it just no longer runs as it should. Number 8, it severely erodes the security, privacy, and stability of any machine it's installed on for a minor gain. And finally, number 9, anti-cheats requiring ring 0 mount to a lazy and potentially hazardous way of dealing with the problem of cheating in multiplayer. So basically, there's nothing wrong with implementing anti-cheat, but doing it in this way, many people find quite disconcerting. And all of that is sort of summarized summarized in this Reddit post that has a significant number of upvotes, further highlighting the issues with clarifications that read, Denuvo anti-cheat is not the same as Denuvo anti-tamper. Denuvo anti-tamper has no bearing on the operating system but is built into the executable. It may cause game performance issues at times, but that is the extent of it. This is what people generally are talking about when they say a game has Denuvo. So Denuvo anti-tamper is hated enough due to the performance issues it can cause, but anti-cheat takes it a step further with security risks, and there are instructions right here on how to uninstall Denuvo, but if you do that, you will not be able to play the game, gain access to it. But after you uninstall the game, if this program still happens to be installed on your computer, this is the process that you can undergo to ensure that you've completely gotten rid of this software. Now, on the same day that Denuvo anti-cheat launched, the folks at Erdetto, who are the publishers of Denuvo essentially, went ahead and posted this blog post in which they try to explain what this anti-cheat system entails, assuring people that it's ultimately a good thing. So here's what that reads like. Hello, Doom Eternal fans and gamers.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Over the last 3 years, Erdetto's Denuvo team has been building a multiplayer anti-cheat solution. 2 years ago, Denuvo kicked off an early access program where AAA publishers and studios were invited to contribute today's most popular multiplayer titles as anti-cheat test platforms. After countless hours and millions of gameplay sessions, we're excited to announce the launch of Denuvo Anti-Cheat. Denuvo Anti-Cheat goes live today, May 14th, 2020, to protect the battle mode multiplayer of Doom Eternal on PC, developed by id Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. Now, battle mode, for those who don't know, it's the Doom multiplayer mode where one player plays as the Doom Slayer, and then the other two players play as demons, and the demons have to kill the Slayer, and the Slayer have to kill the demons. It's this asymmetrical style of multiplayer competitive gameplay that, as far as I know, not that many people engage with, so it seems counterintuitive to put this out just for battle mode multiplayer, to implement a detested and sort of disconcerting Denuvo anti-cheat system for battle mode, and then sacrifice the goodwill surrounding the main part of the game, the single-player campaign that people adore. The blog post continues, our anti-cheat solution doesn't have annoying tray icons or splash screens, and this invisibility could raise eyebrows. You've gotta love how they're touting the invisible nature of this program as an advantage, that showing tray icons or splash screens is annoying when a big part of the concern for Denuvo anti-cheat is how sneaky it is. The fact that there isn't a transparent, we're running Denuvo anti-cheat type of deal going on. It kind of runs in the background, and people have to really kind of dig and go out of their way to discover whether this thing is running on their computer, and it sort of ghost installs on your computer as well without any particular warning. Indeed, this invisibility could raise eyebrows. That's one way to put it. That's putting it lightly. And so the blog post adds, installing files onto your gaming's rig deserves full transparency. So here's a list of what our anti-cheat does. It's too little too late to be touting full transparency for a company that has dealt in software that has been kind of invasive to people's experiences with a game, whether it's via performance or security concerns. The blog post then explains how this program is installed and uninstalled, stating the first time you start your game, Doom Eternal, anti-cheat installs a kernel mode driver into the program files folder. When you uninstall your game, all previously installed anti-cheat files are removed. Bethesda.net PC customers will need to manually uninstall Denuvo anti-cheat via add or remove programs in Windows settings. In other words, if you bought the game on Steam, then uninstalling it will automatically uninstall Denuvo anti-cheat, whereas if you bought it on the much crappier Bethesda.net launcher, then on top of uninstalling the game, you have to manually go and uninstall Denuvo anti-cheats. And then in this section, the blog post claims that Denuvo anti-cheat only runs when the game is running. So if you close out the game, then the anti-cheat stops working automatically as well. And then finally, in this monitoring section, the blog post reads, Denuvo by Erdetto is a GDPR-compliant third-party data processor, and it's in our best interest to avoid collection of any personally identifiable information. Unlike other anti-cheat solutions, our anti-cheat solution does not take screenshots, scan your file system, or stream shellcode from the internet. We collect information on how the OS interacts with the game and send the information to Amazon-hosted servers for cheat detection. We couldn't be more excited to take the knowledge we have gained in battling piracy and apply it to catching cheaters in the very games we play daily with you. Don't try to express excitement for something that, regardless of what your claims are and what your defenses are surrounding this program, people just don't like Denuvo, whether it's anti-tamper or anti-cheat, due to how it affects both performance and due to some security concerns. And that goes doubly true in a program like this that grants a software an uncomfortable amount of access for a lot of people. When a software like that is sort of stealthily implemented, it's also hard to take Denuvo at their word when they've said previously that Denuvo does not cripple PC gaming performance, and yet tests have showed time and again that, there's a big difference between a game running with Denuvo and without. There's just a tangible difference in performance and frame rates, which suggests that there's something about Denuvo that does in fact affect performance in a less than ideal way. This is just such an unnecessary and baffling decision on Bethesda's part that's only going to further nuke their reputation. It's just an incredibly inconsiderate thing to do, and they've pissed off quite a number of people, and the reviews right here, the graph showing the turn in tone for the reception surrounding this game all speak for itself. Yeah, I mean, they kind of asked for this review bombing, they kind of asked for this kind of feedback. This is kind of what happens when you piss people off post-launch. You're gonna change their opinions about your game. And so scrolling down, you can read plenty of reviews that highlight the Denuvo aspect. It reads right here, not recommending this with Denuvo anti-cheat, period. Latest update forces you to install Denuvo anti-cheat, an extremely dodgy always-on Windows service with full access to your PC. Many antivirus programs quite rightly detect it as a virus. You cannot play the game even in single player without installing it. Since I refuse to allow that on my PC, the update has effectively locked me out of a game I just recently bought. Avoid until they sort out this mess, if ever. I want a Doom, not spyware. You get the idea. Layer this whole situation on top of the implementation of anti-tamper and the way Bethesda embarrassingly botched that, and on top of the soundtrack controversy with Mick Gordon, which admittedly Mick had a part to play in how that turned out, but Bethesda didn't warn people about the sort of lesser quality of that official soundtrack release. Just combine all of these together and you've got a game that launched so well, and then the goodwill got tarnished and marred, days, weeks after launch. And this just feels so commonplace with Bethesda, just them making incredibly baffling decisions that turn people against them, and this has just continued. This has been a streak since, Fallout 76, essentially. I don't know what's going on with that company anymore, but yeah, their lack of communication, their lack of consideration, it's all going to continue biting them in the ass, and Doom Eternal, with its review bombing, it's no different. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's everything you need to know about the Doom Eternal Denuvo anti-cheat situation. Let me know in the comments below what your take is on all of this, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.